Hello, my audience on Dominus Nisi, my series about mothers in May. It's almost going to the last week of this show, and then we are getting great mothers. Today, I'm going to introduce a change maker, an author, a speaker, a podcaster. Moreover, than so close to my heart is she is dedicated her life to give the awareness for family violence and the impact that's happening in each and everyone's life, not just that moment, but it's like a lifelong impact. So then she believed the real reason of this awareness. So let me welcome Connie to my show. Connie, welcome to our show.
Thank you, Bismi. It's lovely to be here. Thank you for asking me, and I hope I can give some advice to the listeners.
Thank you. Thank you, Connie. Yes, you have an inspirational story, and then I would really love you to share your story with our audience. So please tell us about yourself, Connie, and then tell me why you are doing all these things and how that happened.
Okay, well, unfortunately, I came from a very, very strict Italian family. Being the eldest girl, Dad was very strict in his discipline, and part of that was to beat me up. That was in Italy. Then we came to Australia when I was 11. So I thought that would stop. It continued. Mm-hmm. And at 23, I had enough and I left home at 23. I am a late bloomer. I left home at 23. I got married at 42, had a child at 45. And probably the worst time of my life was when I went to jail at 61. But yeah, so I've got a very strong dislike for domestic violence. I've raised money for the Alana Madeline Foundation, which is children that have come from violent homes. I worked for the police on the committee for about 20 years before I went to jail. So violence to me is wrong on all levels. Nobody should be able to put up with it. I've been lucky that my husband is not violent. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been in my life. Unfortunately, I do have a brother who did go through domestic violence from the woman. It's probably more men to women, but there is still violence from women to men. And being in jail, let me tell you, I met those women.
Okay, so that's a bit of like, really sensitive and private details that you're sharing with my audience. So let me reiterate or share that again to my audience. Like, I would really love you to guess Connie's age because she mentioned that she was working for police. She was having a baby around 45 years. And then she's now encouraging and motivating people. And then she had that experiences inside the jail and was a person outside with the police. So all different experiences that from her childhood to the day now, it's like a wealth of very unique experience that Connie has. Connie gone through our own real life, like, finding out how that transition gone from that hard job or hard childhood and then marriage, motherhood, and then working with that police force and then going into that, I would say that four walls of guilt, shame, and all those areas. So, yeah. Connie, you are the best person to be the advocate for the violence because you got still the stories that you have to share with us how that ended up, that your life ended up for some time inside in the prison where you realized it's not just women, men and women equally the perpetrators and the victims.
Yes.
Do you want to share a little bit about your story, how you ended up over there and then how you overpowered your...
I think, how I ended up in jail was that I had a gambling addiction, and the gambling addiction came from a very, very bad business relationship with this male who conned me all the way through. He left him in huge debts, and at the time, I couldn't see a way out. I was too ashamed to admit it, that somebody conned me. Because I was seen as a successful woman, being in events, and I organised so many different events with Hollywood A-listers, bringing them over here, etc. And that's why my case was very, very high profile in the news at the time. I started stealing from my client, unfortunately, paid the debts, but that wasn't enough. I was so hooked on the pokies that then I kept stealing to feed my gambling. I got caught, and the night that I got served my papers, I still tried to hide it from my husband and my son. And they followed me into my room and they said, "What have you been served with?" And I said, "Nothing. No, don't worry about it." "No, what have you been served with?" I broke down and told them. They couldn't believe it. The first word my little boy said, was 15 at the time. He said, "Mum, I don't care what you've done. Please don't do anything stupid. I need my mum." And those words stuck in my heart. I said after that, because I had thought about, committing suicide, because I couldn't face up to the embarrassment and the shame, what I had done and what I had hurt another human being by stealing. So I went to jail for 2.5 years, which was a very good sentence. My barrister told me it could be between 6 and 10. But the judge looked at my history, and since 18, I've always raised money for charities, always assisted. I had certificates from charities, City of Melbourne, the state government. So she took all that into account. And that's why I got 2.5 years. Jail was tough. It was really, really tough because I was in a jail with murderers, drug traffickers, drug addicted people. So it wasn't a very nice place at all. And you had no choice. You had to live with whoever they put you with. So the best way for me to stay away from being punched or anything, I had to keep to myself. I said hello to everybody, but there was a wall. Yeah. So since I've come out, I have decided that I want to help the community. I want to help people with addictions, not just in gambling, but also with drugs, alcohol, etc. Take them through my story, because I really don't want to see anybody else ending up in jail. I believe there's 3 types of people. There's the people that shouldn't be in jail and that should be helped. There's the people that should go to jail for a period. And then there's people that should never be released.
The real 3 categories. Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I believe. Yeah. So I've been back home. My husband and my son and my mum have been absolutely amazing. My friends have been great. You lose friends, but I knew they were flakes. Because I only hung around for my events, to be there, to be showcased in the paper, the news, etc. So those ones disappeared when I told them. Because I'm very honest, I'm very upfront. I had a secret for a number of years, which really burdened me. I wasn't sleeping. I was worried and concerned, but I had 2 personas. I had the go-lucky, successful woman in public. And then when I went to the pokies, I withdrew, and that was me sort of thinking what I was doing, but I couldn't stop.
Yeah, it's an amazing life, Connie. I'm just like thinking about your mindset when you were going through all these ones, and especially when you are inside, your motherhood is like a burning your child 15 years at that time was waiting for you, and your husband and your family were supporting. I really loved that you're strong, and then you are transformed when you came out of it, rather than going down deep into that worst side of your life. You are taking your tough time and then helping others. That means you yourself holding the human candle to show the light to the people. That's how we are becoming the change maker, Connie. Amazing.
Yes. And that's what I want to do. I really want to change people's lives. And I want to lobby the government to stop these ads on gambling around sport. Most of the gamblers are young men from 18 to 24 because they all love sport. And that's so in there, so entrenched that they need to do something. Like they've banned smoking, they've banned alcohol ads, ban gambling ads. Don't make it so glamorous. People lose money.
Exactly. And it's starting with very saying the expense is very small, and that's where the addiction start. And then they're going into very high,
Yeah.
putting everywhere. And it's not just that age, Connie. We know the people from Asian communities, especially.
Yes.
They have real addiction to cricket and sports, and they are in gambling, and then they actually destroying the family.
100%.
Yeah, and then there is no other choice for women to, separate and then do their own life. So what you advocating is to stop that ad in there about gambling. It's the first step that we need to do, because more of like we putting up a extra or unreasonable, and I would say advertisement. We don't really need. If you're having gambling mindset, you need to really reduce. Even though the community and government is doing lots of gambling help to come out, but I think the other side we're feeding a lot, so it's really match. Yeah,
100%. I know my husband and my son hate gambling of any sort, but like they said, they go to the footy because they love footy or soccer, and it's there, it's everywhere, it's in your face, it's on TV. I play what is Sudoku to relax, etc. And all of a sudden I get one of those gambling ads. I mean, I've been clean for 6 years now, which I'm really proud of that. And look, sometimes I still get itchy fingers, but it's my family, it's my boy. I really want to be here for him. I don't want to go back to that place. It was horrendous. And that's what I'm saying. Don't do anything, because that's where you will end up. And it's not a nice place. And some of the people are nice. I've made a couple of friends from there that I still keep in contact, because they did the same sort of crime as me. But the others, it's not that I didn't like them, but I don't want them in my life.
they are not part of your journey. So
No.
got different journey.
Yeah, because they went in, and they, unfortunately, when you go to jail, they don't rehabilitate you. They feed what you want. For example, if you're a drug addict, they feed you other drugs that are legal. So when you get out, what happens? You go back to the drug scene. Instead of cleaning them up, taking time and cleaning them up and then send them out. But they don't do that. I mean, if I wanted to be a criminal, I learned from the best. But
like
that's not
university there, right?
Oh, yeah. So
I think that's a separate, a big an important topic of the legal system, and then how they doing different inside, which is unknown to many of our ordinary people. But I think people like you who experienced that and came out of it that powerful mindset, that's where the starting point. So Connie, you are on an amazing journey. We support, we love you, what you're doing, because as a mother, it is a hard job to stay for you, for your family, and then telling the truth that yes, I was down one, but I'm clean now. Because when you are in your top high, you were surrounded by all good people, all different varieties of people. But when you were admitting that I was doing wrong, people will go, and then you have to take another turn in your life. And then you are with amazing people now. You are surrounded by positive people, and then you are doing right things, Connie. So I just want to take your motherhood, that mindset, and I want to check with you. How do you describe your motherhood? I know that you had a tough motherhood, but how do you describe it?
I went the complete opposite way of my father. I have not touched my son. He's 22 in a couple of months. I have not laid a finger on him. If he did something wrong, we either talked about it, or I sent in the bathroom, because there's no toys in the bathroom, whereas everywhere else there were toys everywhere, for about 10 minutes. And I kept saying to him, now, if you misbehave, I'll make it 20 minutes. I think I did that about 3 times. And then he's never done it again, because you know what kids are like. But he was well disciplined. We always took him out with us. He was never left alone. The only time we left it with mum and dad is if we were invited and there was no kids. But he mixed with everybody, sporting stars, actors, singers, you name it. He's been to concert. He's one of those kids. I think he's older than his age. That's what people say. Yeah. And
yes. Okay.
yeah. So we gave him the right grounding. Was I a good mother? I wasn't a great mother because I had him at 45 and I never wanted kids. Because I was the eldest of 5, so I had to look after my siblings. So to me, I did my mothering with them. So he came unannounced. He was natural. So when I got pregnant, I knew that I did at the time, and then we had to go through all the different things, being 45, whether it was going to be autistic or Down syndrome and stuff like that. And that was a hard decision to make because both my husband and I were in our 40s. I said to my husband, I do not want a child left here because I don't know how long I've got, and I don't trust society to look after the child if we're gone. So I said I would terminate my pregnancy. Not because I wouldn't love my child, it's just that I couldn't trust society to look after him once we left, right? Because I'm 66 now. But he was a healthy born child. It did take me 3 months to get over the shock that I was having a boy because I always wanted a little girl.
Okay.
But I would not swap him now. Absolutely not swap him. I was half an hour late for my cesarean because I was working.
All right.
Yes. And then in the hospital, I was there for 7 days and I had meetings all day long. And when I came home, I stayed home for a week, and because he was crying because he wouldn't take my breast. He had to go on the bottle, and you know what nurses are like. He drank a whole bottle in one go. For 2 days, he didn't eat, so he drank that in one go. So the nurse came back the following morning. She goes, "Do you want to try again?" And I said, "No." I said, "He does not like my breast. Just give him the, but you should try again." I said, "No, give him the bottle." And he took to it like everything. So after a week coming home, I went back to work. My husband stayed home for 18 months and looked after him. And let me tell you, he did a better job than I would have. Because, you know, as a mother, you cook, you wash, you clean, and you look after the child. Whereas all he did was look after the child. I still had to come home and clean and cook and wash. So he did a much, yeah. So the whole day was spent with the child, reading with him, sleeping with him, etc. So whereas as a mother, we get sidetracked. So I really think he did a really good job.
That's really good that you shared that response. Because back in our area, it's like everyone thinks that motherhood is only for moms, not for fathers. They will come and get the money or do the stuff, but you have done it in a different way, which is good because yeah, you know, he's also part of the journey, and then they connected really very well. It's great. So your motherhood, it's like, you know, without wanting to be a mother, you became a mother, and then, you know, sharing that love. And I'm sure that you did mother your siblings very well because you're the, you know, oldest and then helping them, and then they should be really proud of you, Connie. That's great. So I just want to check with your late motherhood, and then 22 years now becoming a mother. So can you share some best moment that you still cherish in your heart as a little, you know, little baby in your hands, or anything that you can share with us?
Oh, they're all special moments in different ways. I can't really pick a point. Because we shared a lot of things together. We went to the theatre together. We still do that. We still go to concerts together. Because fortunately, he loves my type of music, not my husband's. Okay. So I hate sport. So so my husband takes care of the sports side. I'll take care of the art side because I love musicals, etc. So he's got love for both. When he was little, he did love shopping, and I used to love shopping. I remember we went to Rome together, just the two of us, and he was getting confirmed, and he wanted an Armani suit.
Okay.
Yeah. So we had to go to Armani and get a suit done for him.
Okay.
He wore it once and then he grew up. He shot up so quickly. But
Can't really do it anymore.
yeah, no, it's still here. So I'm not sure whether I should sell it or keep it for it as a keepsake. But yeah, every moment is special.
Yeah, it is more of like, that conversation whenever they grow older and then taking them. I do remember a couple of other mothers mentioned that, holding your hands when you cross the road, feeling that, the kids are really taking care of you and giving that warmth. And the hugs, everyday hugs, it's like
Oh,
energy that they
yeah.
get.
And the kids, he doesn't do that often now.
Oh,
Unfortunately, he's a young man, so it tends to be a little bit more reserved. But when he was younger, yes, definitely. He loved his hugs, he loved his kisses, holding hands. Whereas now, not so much.
Yeah. So it's always like, as a mother, it's precious when they come, when they talk, when they, have conversation. I like your 10 minutes and 20 minutes in the bathroom conversation. That's also a good one for people to, relate and then maybe utilize in their life rather than giving them some consequences. It's more of like a conversation, which is giving good ideas, good values. So
Yeah.
usually our consequences is going to sit and naughty corner and don't talk. But I love your idea. Go and talk to him. So
Yep.
there's no other way other than having that conversation. That's great.
Yeah. Well, I've never had him act badly outside. We used to go to Coles together, and had the good old little lollies up at the front. I remember him taking one, and I said, "No, put it back." He put it back, and
Oh.
a woman looked at me as if to say, "How did you do that?" And because he knew he could not misbehave. If he wanted something, you can have it at home, but don't carry on outside. So he never screamed. Like I said, we took him to restaurants from the age of 9 months and never screamed.
Oh, that's great. So I
Mm.
was just looking at your motherhood at that time. You mentioned you were half an hour late for your surgery. And it will be, I can imagine, because the doctors and everyone will be, very much upset because it's like a complicated one, because if it is 40 or and over, and then you've gone back to work within weeks. And
1 week.
yeah, how did you handle all these, juggles, like, motherhood, business, and at that time you were having all your events.
Mm.
So you're lucky that your, baby was safe with your husband. But how did you juggle all together?
I'm a good juggler. Don't ask me. It's like now I'm studying full time.
Yeah.
I'm doing Kaylee Chu's workshop. I'm doing respin training and getting out there to talk to people.
Yep.
I'm writing a book.
Yeah.
I'm doing a doctor's. The busier I am, the better for me. It keeps me alive and it
That's
keeps me going.
So how do you describe your day? Do you have any pattern, or it's like come and go? How do you peace,
Um,
those peace inside you?
well, I know that 3 days a week I'm at school. Then I've got to put those extra hours at home to do the homework. So I'll do that. So then I've got Tuesdays and Fridays where I actually plan what I do either with a family or with Kaylee, as you know, or, with other things. And then I've got to write the book. So I work till about 10, 11 o'clock at night and I wake up about 6 in the morning. So so far it seems to work.
You're working, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you look after your health. You were saying that you're 66. I can't really believe that, but you're active and energetic. Like, everyone will become like going to bed almost by 10 and then starting again in the morning. But you mentioned that your days are really long. And then going to school, all different energy you're getting, right? Being into that student mode is always
Yeah,
good.
I'm the grandmother at school because they're all 20 years old.
That's really good for us to share our thoughts and everything with other people. That's an amazing way of doing all these things together. It's never too late to do all good things that you're doing. That is already good. So I pick up a rule that you were doing. It's like BBC, like do the things that you love. Yeah.
It
So
keeps me away from gambling too, so that's good.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
like rather than staying there, you try to do different things. So your mind is busy, you are totally busy, and then that will help you to stop going wherever we have a bit of like an addiction mindset. So that's a
Yeah.
good one. Yeah. I would just like, you mentioned gambling again. So I was thinking, so if I'm a gambler and I can't really do it, I know that's really bad thing. What is the best thing that I can do to avoid that?
Okay. Stay away from any venue that has gambling.
Hmm.
Talk to somebody.
Hmm.
And there's so, I mean, Gamblers Help is amazing. I did try Gambling Anonymous. That wasn't for me.
Okay.
But Gamblers Help is great because you've got somebody you can talk to one-on-one, whereas the other one is a group and you go there, I haven't gambled for a week, I haven't gambled for 2 weeks, that sort of stuff. And it was getting a bit boring. Whereas with Gamblers Help, you have somebody, a counsellor there
Okay.
working with you, putting things into place. I mean, I'm still going to them, but instead of going weekly, now monthly.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I'll keep doing that because you never know what happens. I lost my mum just recently, and I was again in a bad place. So she really helped me with that as well. Because when bad things happen, you do go to bad places, and you
Hmm.
just got to pick yourself up.
Yeah. Okay. That's a useful information, Connie. So if
Mm.
anybody in my audience, if you think that gambling is your weakest point, and then you may be hiding that from your family and friends, but this is the right place that you can go gamblers first. And
Yeah,
it's a one-on-one consultation that you can do. And I will be putting up the details under this video. So please do help yourself because it is a disease, because it is an addiction. And then you never know when you are going to that
yeah.
area. So
Well,
please yeah.
it's been recognised as a mental health illness now, whereas it wasn't
Mhm.
before. So now they actually accept it's no different to drugs. It's no different to alcohol. It's an addiction.
Okay.
So get help.
Yeah, so that means it's really serious. You need to
Mm.
really work on that one rather than hiding that and going
Yes.
to that one. So thank you for that. Connie, I would love to get from you. You are doing wonderful things and then many useful things for other people and lots of golden nuggets
Mhm.
from your talk and from your social media content. And then you were one of the amazing leaders for the Kelly's Speakers Summit. And then we worked together. That was an
Yes.
awesome experience. But I would love to check with you. What will be your 3 rules that you can give to my audience to keep your life in a better place and start a new beginning? Because many people in our life thinking that I'm really gone, I can't really do, I'm too old, I'm like this, I can't change it. But you are showcasing that it is doable. It is.
100%.
So can you
Well,
give me some insight on that one?
whilst you're alive, keep learning. If that means going back to school to do something that you've loved, do it. Do it now. Keep your family close and love them, and they will love you back. And seek help if you need it. Do not be proud like I was. Ask for help when you need it. And sometimes you might not think you need it. Talk to somebody. You must have a confidant. See, I had close friends, but I didn't confide in them because I was ashamed. Don't be ashamed because that leads to serious consequences. And you don't want that. You don't want that for you. You don't want that for your family.
That's what a great way of like connecting. Sometimes whenever you are in a bad spot, we never share that with family.
No.
Especially if you are a man and the breadwinner, they think that, oh, no, I don't want to open up my vulnerability to the family because they may get scared, they will get impacted. But I think to show the love to the family is
Yep.
to really be open to your family.
But also, if they're domestic violence, there are so many people you can go to that
Mhm.
your partner will not find out. They do keep a secret. I
Yeah,
had a friend that had to use that twice. And yeah, just seek help. It doesn't matter what you've got in your life, seek help. It's important.
that's great. So I was just checking again with you that family violence one, Connie. So what's your thoughts? So you mentioned about your own life and your your brother and other people that you're helping. So how do you feel about that family violence awareness? I know that that's also similarly important that, as gambling. So what's your thoughts on family violence?
I don't know how to stop it. That's the problem. If I had a solution, I'd have it out there. I just believe that whoever is in a domestic violence, they need to get out now and ask for help. There, like I said, there's many, many groups out there. There's respect, bring respect. Unfortunately, it's not this. There's a lot of the things out there more for females, very little for males. And I noticed that through my brother. He went through 20 years of hell. We didn't know. And when we did find out, he said, I'm a male. Males don't get beaten up by their partners, right? But he did. He was ashamed. So don't be ashamed whether you're male or female. Seek help. That's all I can say. Like I said, I don't have a solution, but there are groups that can help. I'm hoping that one day men and women wake up that violence is not the solution to a problem. All these wars that are going around, we don't need them. We need peace on this earth. We are destroying ourselves.
So that's the way to go. We need to stop this, but each and everyone needs to do their part.
Yep. You can't do it. I can't do it. The person in the relationship can do it.
Yeah. And there are lots of chances of opportunities, and organizations are doing many different things.
Yes.
Connie, I'm coming back to your book. Can you share a bit about your book, and then how did that help you in your life?
Well, the book is not out yet. The launch will be in September. I'm writing it for an American company, and they're doing a docuseries with 100 women around the world. And I think there's 2 of us in Australia that are doing it. One is in Queensland and myself in Victoria. The books come about because everybody's asking me to write my story because I've got so much in there, you know, doing the big events, having the domestic violence, going to jail, having a child at 45. So I'm condensing all that into a book, hopefully of about 150 pages. The people that are out there that you shouldn't trust as well. So I've got the opportunity and I'm writing it now. So I'm almost there. I'm going to get a ghostwriter to expand it, and then hopefully we'll be released in hard copy and e-copy in September 24th, hopefully.
Okay, so all the very best. And
thank you.
My listeners, watch the space. I will be updating with her books and details about it. And it's worth reading because she got her real stories and then learnings in that book. So that will be really useful for many people. So, Connie, I would really love to check with you. How can we reach out to you? Because if you have different experiences, and then we may need to have one-on-one conversation with you. How can we reach out to you?
I can give you my phone number, or you can go to my Facebook page, Connie Paglianiti, and message me through there. So that's fine. Or there's an email, which is social@wesocialize.com.au.
I love that. We socialize. Okay.
Yeah.
social@wesocialize.com.au. Okay. So I'll be putting those details under this description as well. Please connect to Connie. And then, if you are in anywhere in your life of gambling or violence or any sort of like a change-making space, come and talk to her. Her life and experience you don't get from anywhere else. So I encourage everyone to get connected with Connie. Connie, I know that you had a great Mother's Day and then you are enjoying the motherhood. This month of May, we're dedicating to mothers, and then we wish you a very great motherhood for you. Enjoy each and every time, precious moment with your son, and then inspiring stories coming out of you. So keep doing what you're doing, Connie. All the very best.
Thanks, Bismi, and thank you to your listeners as well. I really enjoyed this. Love you.
Connie. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. So I think, my listeners, as I mentioned in the beginning, it's a separate, different and a really eye-opening episode of a life story of the 66 years of Connie. And I'm sure that whoever listening is getting different experiences. And I'm putting more high importance to gambling because it's well, it's a hidden disease that happening in families at the moment. So please come out of it and get help through Connie and through different areas that it's available. And thank you very much for this support that you're giving for this wonderful series for this whole month. This is 26th day, and then I would really love to give my love back to you and always say that music is always changing your mindset. And there is a great musician coming to Melbourne in July, and then I'm giving 10% off to the tickets. Use the promo code BP for Bismi Palati, BP10, and then you can get 10% off. And if you really want to get a platinum ticket free, I'll be putting some questions under this description and text me the answers. And the lucky winner will be sitting on the first row for this concert that's happening in Melbourne. So thank you very much, my audience. And thank you again, Connie, for having this great time with us and sharing your precious story with our audience. So this is Dominus Nissi, and you're with me. Thank you.